Halo selamat pagi pemirsa, saya Chandra Dewi kembali hadir menjumpai Anda dalam Cerdas 5 Menit. Pagi ini kita membahas bagaimanakah perusahaan asuransi yang dikategorikan sehat berdasarkan kekuatan finansialnya. Dan bersama saya di studio Metro Manulife saat ini saya telah ditemani bersama Colin Startup, Director and Chief Financial Officer dari Manulife Indonesia. Good morning Colin.
Pagi Andra.
Selamat pagi. So Colin, what are the characteristics of a healthy insurance company?
Well, there are many things to look at, but I would really look at four things. First, take a look at the financial statements. Those are published once a year in the newspaper, and you can find the latest quarterly statement on the company's website. But the financial statements only gives you an idea of how healthy the company is today. So that's why it's important to look at the second item, the risk-based capital ratio, or RBC ratio, and that gives you a good idea of how strong a company is to be able to withstand types of shock that it might face in the future. For example, movement in interest rates, downturn in the stock market, or an increase in claims in the short term. Third, I would look at the media, check the internet, check past performance, and in particular media comment on the company's results. And finally, what I would do is if you're not dealing with a household name and you're worried, check the AHAI website. You can find a list of all the companies there that are licensed by the OJK.
Okay, in terms of financial result, what are the components this customer need to focus on? You mentioned about the RBC. Is it the higher, the healthier, or what?
That's true. The higher, the better. The regulators, the OJK, actually set a minimum of 120%. So make sure that there's a healthy margin over the 120%, and maybe set a higher level if they feel the 120% is not enough to withstand the types of shocks that I mentioned earlier on. So going forward, always check that there's a good margin over the minimum level, which is 120, or the internal company's measure, which would be higher than 120.
So if we spot a decline in regard to the company's profile or RBC in their latest financial report, does that mean we should translate that into an alert?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, insurance companies take risks. That's what we do. And there will be times when there'll be some short-term losses. For example, movement in interest rates is largely beyond the company's control and could potentially lead to losses in the short term. So don't just look at the latest year, look at the previous year, and also look at the internet for the past year's comments as well, to look at the track record of the company. But most importantly, make sure that the latest RBC ratio has a good buffer over the 120 that I mentioned.
So the customer need to choose only the insurance company with the best financial condition in the market?
Well, having good financial health is really a basic requirement for customers these days. After all, insurers need to be around for many, many years to pay out the claims to their customers and the families. So it's really a ticket to the game to have good financial health. So there's two other things I'd look at. First thing is product. Does the company have a good range of products? That could be protection policies, making a payout on death. Could be policies that are there for savings or investment purposes, or indeed retirement planning. But also the range of products should be sufficient to cover the risk profile of their customers as well. Some customers like to take a more conservative approach to their investment, for example. Service, very important, and you can look at the company's website normally to find customer testimonials. But it's not just a question of winning awards and getting good testimonials. Best to check friends and family as well to see what experience they've had for dealing with that company. Because it's important to get good service, not only when you're taking out the policy, but ongoing service too. And especially when it gets to claims time, you want to make sure that you're going to provide good service.
Okay, Colin, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much indeed.
Dan pemirsa, demikianlah Cerdas 5 Menit, Cerdas Finansial untuk episode kali ini. Saya Chandra Dewi, terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Sampai jumpa.
Dipersembahkan oleh